Hey, what's up, AfterBuzzers? Life Sentence is back. We are talking about episode 6. Mom breaks up with Poppy. Stella's having fantasies about Dr. Grant. And Aiden gets arrested. We have so much to cover, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
You guys, I think
we are back.
We're back. We're so back.
Yes, we are
found
back.
our love here at Life Sentence. Right. Hey, what's up, guys? It's been a long 2 weeks without seeing you and seeing you guys, so I'm so excited to be back. We have such a great episode to cover. So many things happened. But before we get started, I'm your host, Karla Beltran, and I'm joined by my lovely ladies, Suzanne Quast and Monique Loveless.
What's up, guys? We're so excited to talk about this episode. We're so excited to be back.
We are, and look,
everyone.
we even kind of came matching.
I know, I did
Not prepared.
I did not get the memo.
but we synced.
We did.
We were in sync. We were ready for this. So, right.
You look like a
Well,
creamsicle.
I
But
know.
she great color coordination.
Yes.
Yes.
Creamsicles it is. I actually like those. I miss those, like when, the little ice cream man would go
Yeah.
by and be like, oh,
I love
Well, there's no ice cream in here, but talking about something that kind of melted, that we don't even know how it melted, is the relationship between Mom and Poppy.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
so I asked the panel, earlier before we started, did I miss an episode? When did Mom and Poppy break up? What happened? So, what do you guys think happened?
I don't know. I mean, there was a part of me that felt the same, when I first started watching it, and I actually did check my DVR.
Okay.
But I feel like, sometimes shows can be redundant in explaining something and then showing it. So I
Yeah.
feel like they just cut right to it.
I feel
Do we
like there
think
should have
Poppy's-
been at least a little explanation, and maybe there will be down the line.
Yeah.
But I do have a prediction because it's been running through my head
We are-
the whole entire.
We are only 2 minutes in.
I know. But I just want to say this. Once the predictions come up, please remind me because it
Okay,
has
I'll
to deal
remind
with
you
this.
about Mom's prediction.
Yeah, Mom's prediction because I mean, I don't know what happened. Maybe it's one of those things where they're like, oh, you can make it up in your head, kind of leave it up to the audience.
Yeah.
A type thing.
Imagine, I think though that would be really difficult. And I think she said this in the episode, but the fact that she lost her best friend, who, was
Yeah.
her lover, eventually, and then her husband.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like she does really have any friends.
No.
So, living with her daughter, I'm sure isn't necessarily an easy thing.
Right.
And then your daughter's back. She's been gone for so long. I think that would be really difficult.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. The thing is we see she doesn't have friends, but throughout her life, she just clearly had Poppy as a friend to go to when she was married and going through Stella's sickness. I mean, that takes up all of your life.
You guys, so question. Mom doesn't work, right? She just
I don't think so.
organizes and does
Yeah,
yoga?
I don't think she
Okay.
does.
So
I mean,
maybe
she was
because
probably the caretaker for Stella.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
And that's why she's literally, her life hasn't really, it's actually, she's hitting the reset button. And they
Yeah.
started that where everybody's hitting the reset button on their relationships. Because, like we said, she's the caretaker. She didn't work. She was taking care of Stella. Therefore, she didn't have a lot of friends. She didn't have a social life.
Yeah.
And now here she is,
Yeah.
organizing cabinets.
Yes.
Although I
yes.
have to say, it inspired me.
I know. I was like, I need her to come over to my house and help me organize everything in my cabinets.
Oh my gosh, I don't have enough in my cabinets to organize. I don't know, I just feel like once I started living by myself, I don't need that much.
Well, what do you guys? What do you guys think of Diego? How he handled it with the mom?
Okay, I personally think that's a very tough situation because when you're in a relationship, even if you're not married, you kind of sometimes you want to tell mom everything that happens. Like, oh, mom, I had an argument with my boyfriend right now because of this and that. And your mom will sometimes tell you something until it gets to a certain extent. Well, you don't want to tell mom anymore because you know that in the end, like, you're going to make up. But once you're like married and you're in a relationship, like, I think there needs to be some sort of boundary where, like, mom comes in. Like, you don't want to be that couple that lives, like, still with mom while you're married, just because I feel like so many problems could come up. But he did have a very valid point at the fact that she did help him
Like,
a lot while
Yeah.
Lizzie was gone. So I think he handled it great. And
I do too.
either way, like, it's, first of all, it's his mother-in-law. Like, he shouldn't have kicked out his mother-in-law, and he wouldn't be able to because it's his mother-in-law after all.
Right, but
And he calls her
his
mom,
house.
too, yeah.
It's their house. So he could kick her out if he wanted to. But I think he made a great point. Like, we just had this bond and we're coming off of this bond. I'm glad that you're home. But at the same time, when I didn't have you here, like, she did so much that I would feel bad even, you know. So I think he handled it well. I like the way he handled it. Can we have more guys like Diego out there?
Yes.
Like, I want a Diego. Like, can we have more Diegos out there? Because I think he handled it great. Because he basically stood up to Lizzie and was like, no, I'm not doing it. You're doing it. And then explained why. And it was such a great reason. So.
And, like, even by the end of it, when she did end up finding out because she overheard, how he was the one that brought in a plate and was like, I think it should be the three of us. We should sit down. I'm like, what a sweetheart.
Right. I love me some Diego. Like, we need more men out there like Diego. Just some advice.
Start that hashtag.
I do like
Diego.
I do like Diego, but I have a question for you guys. Kind of coming away, still in that relationship thing. Do you guys think that now, since mom is single and dad is single, do we see?
No, predictions.
Oh, that's true. That's
predictions.
True. But
predictions.
Does this have to do with? Okay. We will keep it towards the end. If there are people on the chat, hey guys,
Let
and if you're
us
there,
know.
let us know if you think mom and dad are gonna maybe sparkle things again. I really like the fact that I think in this episode we saw that mom really had his back for the first time.
Yeah.
And I was like, mom is single, mom has dad's back. Okay, I like mom again.
Did you not like her for a period of time?
I didn't like her for a period of time because she just seemed so messy. Like the fact that
Poor woman.
the fact that she was like drinking in like the bushes, like
I
on the
feel like
outside.
she was just going
like,
through something.
I agree. It wasn't like she was drinking every day. It
Yeah.
was one episode where she had it, like she was telling her husband.
yeah, but she like wasn't taking care of her kids once. Like I think like once she found out like, oh, Stella's fine, she was like, oh, let all lay loose, you know?
Well, that's probably because it's like it's a reset button for everyone. So it's kind of like she doesn't have the kids in the house except for
but she's
Aiden.
a mom. Just kidding.
Okay, that's very, but she's also a human being.
Yeah, she's also a human being that needs her own life. She needs to thrive. Okay, that's what she was trying to figure out.
agree.
Thriving for herself and not everybody else.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, let the lady live.
Well, I did not dislike her. I liked her. She was fun. She was definitely having fun, and she was having a fun stage.
I guess. Well, speaking
She
of
was
fun.
not feeling the mom, but I haven't been feeling Aiden, so.
Okay, well, we're
Oh,
getting that. Don't talk.
I'm totally feeling about Aiden. But
Yeah.
Back
But
on the
speaking
topic.
of fun, if you want to have fun and learn and grow in all areas of your life, we have the podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos. It is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder, and it drops every Friday on iTunes. It features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secret tips on how to be better in all aspects of your life. God knows we all need that.
Right.
You know, they have topics from health and wellness to career, relationships, finances. Let Maria be the big sister that actually I never had. I love her, and I love this show, or I love the podcast.
Right.
And if you guys watch it, go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free, and be sure to rate and comment. And when you do, let Maria know that we're the people that sent you there.
life sentence.
Life sentencers. Yeah, check it out, guys.
Yes, definitely. She's had really great guests on there, so you guys should totally check it out.
Yes, agreed.
Speaking of guests, I guess, in a way. Stella has been having a guest on her mind quite often. Stella is married. First of all, we need to state the fact that Stella's married, and she's having fantasies with Dr. Grant.
Yes, she is.
But the fantasies started a couple of episodes ago, right? Like when did it start a couple of episodes ago when she thought no, she wanted to kiss him? No, she didn't. Okay, I don't know why I thought it had started a couple of episodes ago.
No, I think they teased it, and so maybe that's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I think, okay, real quick, what I love about this episode is, when Aaron and Rich were in here, they said that they were having a difficult time finding the tone of the show. For me, it felt like this was the first episode that really set where this is going and how the tone is set, meaning that it's a dramedy. So it's very much in the drama realm with elements of comedy. Yeah. So I thought they did a great job of that.
And tears in between, because I totally shed some tears today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. We'll get there when Aiden tell you. We'll get there to Aiden.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But did you guys know it was a fantasy when it first started with...
Yes, of course.
Because the way it was shot, I knew it was a fantasy. Plus, it's still the CW, and I was hoping that they kept it PG, to the point where she didn't cheat.
Agreed.
Because I really like Wes, and I think Wes is a good guy. It'd be different,
Wes.
and this is so bad to say. It'd be different if Wes was, not a good guy. Then we'd be like, oh, she needs to go,
Yeah.
But Wes is actually a really good guy, and I like him, and so I knew it was a fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I get where she's saying, and look, I am not condoning the fantasies, but sometimes, again, she's a human being, and she needs to put that in check. But I think it's interesting. When you go through something really traumatic in life, it is difficult to have people who really understand you. And understand what you've been through and how you got there. And I'm not, again, justifying. I'm just saying that there is a part of me that understands just human being to human being.
I don't see how he got her, and Wes was the one who... We're going to get there. Wes is the one who got Aiden out.
Okay, we are actually talking about all of this in the same segment, so you can go ahead and just
Okay, delve in. Okay, so...
dive in.
The fact that she let him know, first of all, you're having fantasies, so you're going and you're
it's
trying to
affecting
ignore
her relationship.
Yeah, it's affecting
her
every part of her life,
Yeah.
basically, even at work when she tries to not interact with him at all.
Yeah.
But of course, it's affecting her relationship, their sex life, and everything.
That was very strange, for the record.
Yeah, that
sex scene
was
was
super strange.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Anyways.
That was super strange to me too. But anyways, I just feel as though she says that this doctor gets her, but how does he really get her? Wes is the one who went and got Aiden out, and he's the one who did all the candles in the room. He's the one who sat and watched all these movies with her and took her to this old time movie because he knew she would love it. How would somebody just saying something to you get you more than the person who's actually physically done
just because
things
somebody's
for you?
And I'm not disagreeing. I love Wes, so please, it's not that. But I think it's different than also somebody physically being there with you and supporting you is different than somebody really understanding, because either A, they've been through it, like he went through it with his brother, and he even said to her, when you got sick, so did they. Yeah. And I think he shed so much perspective for her, because also she trusts it because he's been through it.
And not only that, but the thing is there's a couple of different ways that you could be there for somebody. You could be there for somebody there physically, emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah, I get that.
I think that her and Dr. Grant have had more of an emotional connection, that even though Wes has been there for her physically, the emotion hasn't been there because he didn't necessarily get sick with her, in the beginning from when she found out. It's he's been taking care of her through her sickness. So, and really it hasn't been for a long time. Their relationship, as far as we know, is very recent. Very recent, to the point that she didn't even know that he was going to get married before this.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of why she feels that way. And not only that, but we do, like, in the last episode, last time we saw her, we see her meeting his ex-fiance. So she's like, wait, I think I understand her in a point where, like, wait, how come he didn't tell me this? Like, he should have understood her in that point where, like, oh, it's fair for me to tell her that I was supposed to get married before meeting her, you know?
I understand. I don't agree. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I don't
think any of us agree.
Agree.
Because okay,
agree. We can agree.
We all agree
Don't we?
that we love Wes. Wes is a great man, but we do understand that Dr. Grant just understands her in an emotional way, and
I think it's in a tragedy way.
Yeah.
Again, like, it's an emotional connection
because he always
through
connects
tragedy.
it back to his brother, and when his brother got sick.
I get what y'all saying. I still don't agree.
So yeah.
Okay.
We don't agree. We don't agree with the fantasies, which is the most important part. We don't agree with the fantasies.
Well, do you think fantasies are cheating?
Yeah, in a way, I think so.
In this fact, do you think
this-
it was her cheating because it affected her whole entire life? But I don't see.
I think
a
if you're really invested in somebody, you shouldn't be thinking about somebody else.
Here's my opinion.
You have eyes. You're a human being.
You have eyes.
There are
But-
other attractive people out there besides the person you're married to, and you are a human being. So if there's a little fantasy that flashes across, doesn't mean that I'm going to do something. So
Yeah.
I think then she's trying to do it, but I think she needs to do it to an extreme, meaning that remove herself from the situation.
Yeah.
So you
And I
think
know-
that she should remove herself from the hospital and everything?
For a period of time and go just to see Sadie and then call it a day. I just think that, or, figure out a way, because you're right, she's a human being. I think
She's
normal.
a human being, but it's like occurring often, and it's starting to affect her relationship. You know?
I think that she should be honest with him about it.
Well,
I
it's
know
come
that-
out now.
Oh.
Well, no, not necessarily. It
Well,
hasn't.
she hasn't been like, hey, I had fantasies about what's his face,
I
Dr.
mean,
Grant.
I think, though, she didn't have to say it. Like, she's
Well-
so awkward. She's acting so bizarre. The Dr. Chang comes in, which, yay, we're so happy you're back. But, and then she's like, oh, you guys should date. She was so awkward, and, like, she couldn't be around him. And then there was the whole conversation outside when Wes walked up.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have to be kind of, I don't know, completely, like...
But that's guys. They only.
I
feel like they only get what you tell them. So I don't still think he knows. I think he knows that there are some attractions there, but not that she's having fantasies about this man.
Yeah.
On
No.
that
So-
type of level.
Agreed. Yes.
I personally completely disagree. I don't think she should tell him, like, oh, actually, the other day when we were together, I had a fantasy that it was him. I don't think
agree
No,
with you.
not Wes. I feel like she should talk to Dr. Grant about
No.
I don't know.
No, because that just crosses another boundary to where.
Agreed. No.
Where?
You can wait.
No,
time out.
no.
If you were married, you should not be having conversations with another man telling him,
About
by the way,
you.
I had fantasies about you.
No, you don't flip your hair and say I had fantasies about you. You have to speak up and say, hey, look, I am having trouble with being around you right now, and I love my job and I love what I do, but I'm having real trouble being around you right now because I have these thoughts about you, and that's not right because I don't feel that way about you. I have a husband.
But she
continues to stress that.
She said that. But again, he is a man, and
She didn't say-
if she opens that,
I'm kind of
slightly opens
I'm
that
with
door,
you.
and she's like, oh, I've been having thoughts about you. He's gonna be like, oh, what kind of thoughts?
yeah.
And then he's going to know that he'll be able to seduce her easily or easier because he's going to know that she's already been having thoughts about him.
But
not
she's
only that, but
already
you're
acting
No, but you're
weird.
giving a man, like, then in some sense, power over your man.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't
Yeah, no,
think
no,
that
no.
that's...
Okay, I can
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no.
I can get you on that one. Okay, I'll give you that one. Because I don't want, you don't want nobody else to have more power over the man that you're with.
Exactly.
Unless it's wrong, then you would just be like, listen, this ain't working out. Like, so. But, you don't, especially in Wes's case, I can give you that one.
And I think Stella is loyal. I mean, we see how
she is. She
with
really
her,
stressed that.
Yeah.
with Wes, and she's trying. And then also with Aiden. Like, what an interesting situation about she's loyal to him. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
She's a loyal person. It was so annoying.
What?
It was so annoying how loyal she was to him.
Why?
Interesting. Okay. But
she's his sister, though.
So?
A family is like, for me personally, my family is like everything. And I'm the type of person that, like, I always tell my family, and, like, I tell this to, like, people who I'm really, like, I dearly love, like, sometimes there's absolutely nothing you could ever do to make me love you less.
I wish I had more family members like you.
Yeah.
Fair.
And, like, literally that's how, like, my family it is. And it's like, so I completely understand her. Like,
You
if
got
I ever,
where she was coming
yeah,
from.
definitely.
here's what I think. I think because she's sort of been out of the loop for so long that she's giving him the benefit of the doubt. And I agree. I think that it was kind of like, I agreed with how the dad handled it. And I think that there needs to be hard boundaries and hard lines. But she's the one that got to understand, A, why he did it. B, some of those stories where everybody had issues with him, that wasn't the reality of the story.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I really like how they broke this part of the storyline down, where they showed him, like, really trying to get a job, and then when he was like, well, I'm not making really enough money, or I have people coming in and begging me, and I see how their lives are. Like, at first you're like, okay, why are you sympathizing with them? But then we see when he goes into the story, then I'm like, oh, I do feel a little bad for him. Like, dang, like, he does have real explanations for stuff. But why not speak up and say something? I know why he said nothing about the car accident, because he didn't want anybody to worry about him as they were worrying about, Stella. But why not say something about the other stuff? Like, I was on medicine, and I felt like, for me to have more time.
I think because I think it all ties back to Stella. I think it really affected him so, like, extremely, to the point where, like, he didn't want to take any of the attention away from her.
I think it's that, and I also think, in psychology, they also say that every sibling has a role, and sometimes the role,
and he's the older brother,
and he even says, everyone decided I was a screw up. Now, sometimes, in psychology, just because that's your role doesn't mean you want to, doesn't mean that that's how you want to be, but that's what you end up fulfilling.
But not always. I feel like you can choose a different path. So I feel like when he said that, he was victimizing himself. I felt in that moment he was really victimizing himself, because just because everybody expects you to be the screw up doesn't mean you have to live that life.
I don't disagree, but I also think that that's a sense of empowerment that hopefully he finds over the course of the season.
I hope so too. I would have just let him stay in jail for a couple of days. But then when,
So I won't be calling you if I ever go.
I know,
don't
seriously.
call. Let me tell you, do not call me. I will talk to you on the 1-800 number, but I will not come and get you. I will not send money, and I will not come and get you. It's like just one of those things I think my mom embedded in me. She was like, if you ever get in trouble, you will never, like, I'm not coming to get you.
Oh my God.
So you better figure that out. But I felt the family when they were giving him tough love. I understood that because that's the background I come from. So I get where they were coming from, and I'm like, yeah, finally they're standing up. But when he goes and breaks down to the dad that he's looking at a felony and he already has a record, I feel like there's all of this like he's being like a flower or onion, and he's peeling everything back now, but you should have did this before, and now you're victimizing yourself, and you want everybody else to victimize you.
I don't think he's victimizing himself.
Hindsight is 20/20. How many times are we all at times onions, right? Where you peel back layers, and then or you get so caught up in something. And I am again not justifying it. I think the dad did the right thing. But
I do too.
I think that he never really had his moment to actually deal with his issues. And now he's being faced hardcore with them. And he's going to have to face the consequences.
Yeah, and I feel like that's actually good. He needs to, because these are all the things that you did not speak up about, and
Yeah.
that was your choice. You cannot victimize yourself when these are things that you already didn't speak about.
Personally, I like that he's learning, like, to kind of grow out of this phase through paying back everything that he did rather than through having a baby.
I agree. And I am bummed for Marlene. I love you, Alicia. But yeah, I like the storyline that he's going through this.
Yeah. I like the fact, like, when they got arrested, I was like, oh no, Stella. And I was like, okay, like, Aiden got arrested because he got a job. First of all, Stella got him a job at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And then he started stealing drugs.
I would have
at work.
he's good, because I would not. As a sister, you get me locked up too with you. You get me in your BS, I wouldn't have said a word. I would have just walked out. He would have had to tell me all the rest of that stuff later. Because that's not fair. It wasn't fair.
I agree
Yeah.
with you, but don't you think it's a great balance, right? Like in families, like the dad is the one that's making the case for tough love, and then she's the one
Yeah.
that's making the case for empathy. And like, but we don't know, we should help him. So I feel like it's a great balance.
I think so.
I could see the balance, but it was kind of annoying that she was like really fighting so hard after he like put her through that, and then now you want to come and unfold and tell me all of this stuff when you should have just said something before.
But when before?
And
When you crash the car, don't go making up stories about a sorority.
No. But when before? Like, now that we know that she's not sick, when before? When
I'm
mom
saying-
came out
I
and
agree.
said, that she's in a relationship with her best friend, or when dad was going through his crisis, or when, like, it's
No,
just like...
he didn't even apologize to her, though. He didn't. When he got her locked up, he wasn't even like, I'm sorry. He didn't even say, I'm sorry. I don't remember him. He might have it. People in the chat, let me know. But I do not even remember him apologizing. She said, I'm done with you. And he was like, oh, I thought you were done.
I think,
When
though,
she was like, I'm
again,
gonna
like,
come and
this
get you
is
out.
his moment. And I don't
Yeah.
agree with it. And I think it's a little indulgent. And I think he needs to pay consequences for his behavior. But I think
Which he
everything's
will.
been about everybody else. And finally, he's a little defensive. And he's a little bit like, my life isn't great either. And you're right. I don't want to be like this. But
He didn't make jokes about it.
What?
He didn't make jokes about
Right?
it.
Because he's about to go to prison.
He's not going to go to prison. He comes from a good family.
But he's looking at a drug
He
felony.
is, but that would be scary, but I'm not gonna.
But I feel like
For a
there's so many.
storyline?
I feel like there's so many things that will like just justify his actions. That
Yeah, they're
it'll
gonna
be
pull the
okay.
cancer card.
Yeah.
He needs to pay some type of consequences. It doesn't have to be jail, but it needs to be something. Maybe
community
like
service.
90 days or
Yeah.
something.
I mean, I guess we'll find out, but that will lead us right into our predictions.
Okay.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So, Monique, I will let you start with Mom's prediction.
The prediction was already what we talked about. I think that mom and dad are going to have this rekindling, like
Okay.
this fire back, because they're both single.
Ready to
She's
mingle.
like, oh, I was thriving in this relationship, but now I miss my family, and I actually understand like what why I fell in love. I feel like this was their time apart, because they never really got to see each other as really like lovers. It was more like focused on Stella. So I think that they might rekindle something.
I think they'll rekindle something for maybe an episode and then realize that it's better
Right,
that they're
yeah.
apart. But I think they'll have a moment, but I don't think it'll last. That's
I
my
don't think so
prediction of it.
either. I think they're always going to be like they're going to be together, but not officially together ever again.
They're gonna be like friends with benefits.
No, I just think that they'll be together. Like I think
mean,
they'll
they're
always
too
be like
old for that.
family.
No, you can always. Oh my gosh! No, just because you're older doesn't mean you don't like to at least get some.
Oh, I totally agree, but she's going to get some not from her ex-husband. Although you go
yes.
back to where you know.
Yes.
All right, that's
Okay.
fair.
You
that's
do
fair.
go back to what's comfortable,
Yeah.
especially after that long, and you know that you're older and you don't want to date, and
Yeah.
it's
You're right.
comfortable. So it's kind of like a friends with benefits type situation. I think may happen.
I just think a couple of times, but I don't think it's going to be.
Well, my prediction doesn't include friends with benefits, but it could maybe possibly lead to that. I think that this next episode, we're actually going to see Wes and Stella struggle through their relationship. Because what Wes said at the end of the episode made so much sense, to the point where she was like saying like, I choose you, but he was like, I don't choose you, you know, like the heart wants what it wants. And I think that that's going to be very like rocky in their relationship, which might lead her to not fall, but kind of go with Dr. Grant.
Do you think Wes is going to tell her not to work at the hospital? I mean, she's going to have to stay there. Sadie's there. It's too much there.
She cannot cheat.
She's
with
not
Dr.
going to.
Grant
She's not going
at
to
all.
cheat, but she will probably talk to him more about intimate things with
agree.
him, because Wes isn't going to be there for her.
I think she's
Don't
gonna.
do
I think
it.
she's gonna hook up with the doctor.
I hope not.
I don't know if they're together
is,
or not, but I think that she's gonna hook up with him.
I feel like they are going to go through.
They
a
might
rough
kiss.
patch. Yeah, they might kiss.
They might kiss.
They might kiss. They
Like-
might kiss.
A peck. But I don't know.
No.
Regardless, it's cheating.
It won't be a peck.
Yeah, there's so much sexual like tension built up. And
Yeah,
not
it
every-
won't be a peck. I just hope she doesn't like full out sleep with him, because then I feel like she will definitely regret that, like in the long run, no matter what. But I do feel like they are going to have a rocky patch. And she is going to kind of turn to Dr. Grant. But hopefully he shows something that she's like, no.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and find out tomorrow night, because Live Sentence has been switched to the CW at 9 p.m. But if you watch it on the app, it'll be up there tomorrow too. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That show changed, but our show hasn't. We will be here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm your host, Karla Beltran. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Karla Beltran, or on Twitter at Karla Beltran with an R at the end. And of course, don't forget to follow AfterBuzz TV on all social media networks at AfterBuzz TV. And where can they find you guys?
You can find me on all social media at Suzanne Quast.
Hey guys, I'm Monique Loveless, and you can find me on all social media at Miss Mo Loveless. And also make sure that you visit my website at moniqueloveless.com. And every Sunday night, Trust at 10 p.m.
Also, chat in. We love to hear what you guys have to say.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next week. Ciao.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
That's a lesbian.
Oh.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.